Was born to be a fighter, had these dreams and desires. I would be something better, energy, got a fire in my soul to keep burning. A pain that keep hurting, a curse is emerging. Feel the thirst, keep on working, I won't stop, I won't quit. To the top of this shit, I get lost in the work. Sweat dripping, not a bitch, I get mad, I get pissed. I get after this shit, hit the gas, feel the grip. Adrenaline, never miss, I'm not patient, but I've learned to embrace it. Cause I've been working, I've been waiting, never complacent. Cause I'm so close, I could taste it. Wanted away from everything I've been chasing. I'm honest and I promise that I got this. I'm launching, all I've wanted has been exhausting. I'll teach you how to harness, control the conscious. You got this, yeah you got this, you gotta want it. Shot, life ain't fair. Are you gonna win or will the place scared? I will not stop, I will prepare. To get to the top, then it must be rare. God, I'm like, hey, I will not stop, I am prepared. To get to the top, then it must be rare. You got one shot, life ain't fair. Are you gonna win or will you play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared. To get to the top, then it must be rare. God, I'm like, hey, I will not stop, I am prepared. To get to the top, then you must be rare. Yeah, watch out, I'm fighting hard for the crown. Yeah, no doubt, I'll be the best pound for pound. I'm obsessed with winning, this is my house. So watch out, I'm coming to the top, I vow. Yeah, I'm addicted to winning. If that's a sin, I'll be sinning. I'm disciplined when I'm in it, and this is just the beginning. The money, yeah, I'll be printing while helping others make millions. See, I'm not selfish, no villain, but still I'm making a killing. I'm here for greatness, you can't lock me into cages. Deserve to be on stages, I will be the greatest. Do it yourself, I made it. DIY from the basement, I'll take my life into my own hands. My own plan, yeah, I got a backbone. Designing my own program, I'll mentor the next wave of the bravest. So don't be late, I'm about to make changes. One shot, life ain't fair. Are you gonna win or will the play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared. To get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. God, I'm like, hey, I will not stop, I am prepared. To get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. You got one shot, life ain't fair. Are you gonna win or will you play scared? I will not stop, I am prepared. To get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. God, I'm like, hey, I will not stop, I am prepared. To get to the top, yeah, you must be rare.
What is up, guys? How are y'all doing this evening? Hopefully, y'all were getting into some good winter anime. Oh, my dear lord. This thing is. I am so still getting used to all this on Restream. But. Oh, come on. Why is that going so slow? But, guys, if you would like to come and talk some winter anime with me, feel free to do that, as I am posting the link in chat as it is now, and it will be, well, it will be pinned to the top. I have no idea why this is going so slow. Like, just my YouTube web browser seems to be lagging up. Oh, look who we have. What is up, Lester? Welcome to the channel.
No, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Just nothing much here. Been back home in Oregon for the last few days since Tuesday night, and coming home to being snowed in, or at least that's how Portland takes snow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm I'm thinking that we're about to get hit pretty hard here where I live. There's a winter advisory
Yeah.
for the weekend and especially Monday.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully we don't get snow down here because no one knows how to drive in snow around here, and it when it happens, it's so rare that everybody freaks out in less than an inch of snow.
Is it because you're in a more typically warm climate where you are?
Yes, um, south, the northern Georgia.
Okay. Okay. No, I get you. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's really the whole state. No one knows how to deal with that kind of weather. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Portland's kind of the same way. About an inch or two, cancel everything, close the schools.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking I was gonna try to pick up the stuff I ordered from Target for pickup,
it's a bonus.
and and no one's answering. So my only guess is the even though the site says they're still open, I am not surprised if they let people early, if they let them go early, just out of snow concerns, because we had a snow apocalypse back in 2016, and there were depictions of people on the highway getting out of their car trying to traverse the snow, and it was just like I was hanging out at the bar and say, for everyone that gets out of the car, that's a shot we're going to have to take because it was a spectacle on the TV at that time. So yeah,
Oh dear lord.
yep.
Yeah. Jesus, people still talk about the blizzard of '93 that we had around here.
Oh,
That shows how long we've had snow, but it's still well. We've had snow in like after that, but
okay,
that one is the one that just kind of really rings in
okay,
everybody's head because it was so unexpected and everyone was so unprepared
right.
for that that it just I swear you'll hear people today like if it's gonna snow, oh, it's gonna be a blizzard.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. But that just
Yeah,
means
man.
more of an excuse to watch anime all weekend, right?
Oh man, and what a good excuse to have too. I left work early to get caught up on some of the shows that I'm watching right now. But yeah, it's a good time to watch anime.
Yeah, I tend to be one of those in a bubble, one of those dudes in a bubble, kind of like I have my niche anime that especially the stuff I remember watching as a kid. I was watching the Macross saga of Robotech. Don't know if I'll
Oh
ever
wow.
get to watch the middle one because I think that even when I was a kid, when I saw the snippets and the animation, the artwork of the what they call the Robotech Masters section
Oh yeah.
of Robotech, don't know. It's not my jam, not my taste. And so I watched Macross and then what was dubbed New Generation or Next Gen, whatever. I think it's New Generation, the subtitle or the third saga. And I did watch Macross in the Japanese. I don't know if I finished it, but I know I started watching it. And then I watched what the New Generation was based off the Japanese. I think it's called Genesis Climber Mospeada. And interesting how the American production team at the time just put those three together. But for whatever reason, the second one, I just refused to even go beyond the first minutes of that first episode of the second phase in the saga. Even though I say I'm a Robotech fan, I know I have to buckle down and sit through it. It's just one of those
Uh,
things. Yeah, go ahead.
y- You don't have to watch everything. I mean, I consider myself a Gundam fan, but I can guarantee you I've barely just scratched the surface of what Gundam has to offer.
Right, right. I will say this though, having watched some of the episodes just on the plane, because yeah, Southwest Airlines entertainment packages, okay, it's there. It's an insurance in case I'm super duper bored and I'll crack open my phone. But at the same time, it's like, well, if I'm going to crack open my phone, I'll watch what's on my phone because at least I have a way of transcribing some of the DVDs I own or have bought, and I put them on my phone. You know, I use something
Cool.
like VLC, and during the last few trips, I would run through all 5 DVDs of Robotech Macross Saga, and it hasn't gotten old. Even though I know I've watched that 1 or 2 episodes multiple times,
Yeah.
still works for me. You know,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you always got to go back to something that you enjoy. What do you think about the fact that Harmony Gold and the people that have Macross finally came to a deal, and there's going to be more Macross coming out, probably newer Macross. I know that there's a live action in the talks as well. I don't know if it started shooting yet, but
I,
it's definitely in the talks.
when it comes to these adaptations, based on the track record of this age, I'm talking about within the last 20, maybe 30 years,
Yeah.
kind of don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? So it's like,
No, no, I know exactly what you mean because, I mean, we just had an adaptation of my favorite anime of all time, Yu Hakusho on Netflix, and even though there's some things that I can enjoy about it, I still feel that it was very butchered. I mean, they got a big chunk of it and try to condense it down into
um,
just 5 episodes. I mean, the cinematography was great. The action was very nice. It's probably some of the best action we've seen in a live action yet. But it definitely left much to be desired
right.
because it took away some of the most uh, poignant moments
Mm,
of the story and some of the fights because what Tagashi, the creator of it, really does is he really excels in
mm,
telling the story that he's trying to tell through the fights
yeah,
and the sequences and stuff. He doesn't really do too great outside of the fighting
yeah,
when it comes to storytelling. I mean, he still does really good. Like it's really good setup, but it's nothing like when in the heat of battle and talking and
yeah.
tensions are high and stuff like that. It's very different.
I find as a service provider or a way to engage with what a site like Netflix, or I guess since we're in the realm of anime and I recently just became aware of it, Crunchyroll, High
Oh
Dive, I
yeah,
think that's the other site. The thing that gets me about Netflix is a lot of what they provide, but no matter the genre, a lot of it is very in your face. And sometimes as you scroll down, you just hover your cursor. That bugs me to no end when
oh
you
yeah.
when you when you just want to scroll through and what's available, and then you start hearing the previews. It's like, get out of my face. I don't need all that.
I actually just had a funny instance of that. Me and my wife were watching some Netflix last night, and like I just happened to leave it over the top of a show that I was about to watch and went off and did something else, and it was doing that exact thing, the preview, and so I clicked on it, and
Yeah.
that preview was actually from an episode like 3 episodes away.
Oh,
So when that episode came up, she's looking at it and she's like, "Didn't we just watch this?" And I'm like, "No, no."
I, it's like there's a way to manage that. Like sometimes what Netflix flashes on, because it seems a little inconsistent how the what you call the when one might call the dashboard. I don't know what Netflix officially calls it, but depending on how you it looks, like when you log in and you select what profile is watching, right?
Yeah.
It could either be fat tiles of images or a standard, just a listing. And it just puts a damper on my Netflix experience where I might just cut bait and watch High Dive or any other provider.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost wonder if like the studios or whoever owns it, they have special access
Okay.
to Netflix and they're allowed to put up what they feel would be an enticing preview for the viewer. Because I mean, I see different ones. I'll see like I was saying, a cut of an episode. I'll see clips that run together with some music behind it, or
Yeah.
I won't even see anything at all on some.
Yeah.
And so I wonder who is in control of all that.
That is true. That's a good question. I The thing about Netflix and anime is I my guess is Netflix isn't going to be the be all end all of anime, and I don't think it intends to be, right?
Oh no.
Because but I do find you have to dig and claw for certain things on Netflix. Like you might stumble upon it. I've done that. I've stumbled upon it. Whereas if I go to some place like Crunchyroll, Funimation, can't believe, just these different outlets. And in a way, I kind of prefer that there isn't a one-stop shop, though convenient. Something like that would be. It's just because you never know with a lot of sites either being bought out or shut down. It it's like, well, and they're the ones in control of, like we talked about Netflix, possible how they control the experience on that site. And thankfully, High Dive or even Crunchyroll isn't that verbose in how it throws things in your face. And for whatever reason, Netflix gives me a perception of anime overload, even though they don't even have. I don't even think they even come close to what High Dive or either one of those other services have on their own. It's just that the way they throw it at you.
Yeah, I would say Netflix has been is probably the second biggest provider of anime and probably even independent anime because there's anime on there that you really can't get
Right,
anywhere else, and
right.
there's shows that only go to there. Like I just seen that they're getting it, so it's like a One Piece side story from what I'm to understand. I think it's like
Okay,
called 100 Beast or something like that,
okay,
and it's like a one shot that Oda did like apparently years ago,
okay.
and it's like I think it's like Zoro's
Hmm.
master or the birth of a technique that Zoro's master learned or his whatever school he was going to, that was their secret hidden technique or whatever. And it's only going to be like 20 minutes, but it's going to be on Netflix only, as far as I know for right now. And then
Intriguing.
also the uh, remake of Netflix or of remake of One Piece is apparently going to be Netflix only.
Hmm.
And I don't know how true it is or if it was just someone joking, but it's possible that to watch One Piece in the future, like the newer episodes, it's going to be Netflix.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think Netflix is, they seen the writing on the wall like probably a couple years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I know I did a video or at least talked about it
Mhm.
that the director that they got for I think it was cartoons and anime acquisition
Mm.
uh, went really heavy with acquiring anime uh, a few years ago, and I guess it's been doing good for them because I mean, anime's like a well tuned, or the anime industry is a well tuned machine, so it churns that stuff out, and there's shows that we will never get because it just either wasn't as popular as they would need it to be, but being on Netflix, it's like you can throw just about anything on there for
Right.
probably about half the cost, if not less,
Mhm.
than what either putting it up on a TV service is, or even probably giving it to Crunchyroll.
Mhm.
I know, Disney has also went and has started buying rights to stream shows as well. Last year they got both the Tokyo Revengers and Bleach to stream on Disney Plus, which there wasn't a reason to have it on Disney Plus because it also went to Hulu because they had a big stake in Hulu as well, and now they have majority Hulu because they just bought out
Yeah.
Paramount, I think it was, and
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, so pretty much everyone sees the writing on the wall with that. Like Disney Plus is probably going to shut down, maybe rebrand Hulu, or just keep Hulu and rake in the money, because I don't see a reason to rebrand a service that is already synonymous with or is synonymous with that name. And
Yeah, but I've been around certain industries to where that even though it's a kiss situation, keep it simple, stupid type situation, you know
yeah,
how people companies are with their brand loyalty.
oh
So
yeah,
with that, it's like I wouldn't be surprised because it happened to one of the tools that I use with work. There's a tool that and the main software we work with bought out, and they eventually rebranded it to be part of their company name. So instead of just keeping it T Sheets, they rebranded it to be QuickBooks Time because they want to show that, I guess you can say, that brand evolution kind of thing going on in the industry.
right.
And that's
And
why at some point Hulu may likely be rebranded to
Hulu
be.
Plus.
Yeah, I still don't get why
Uh,
people have started using the Plus moniker. I've noticed that in a lot of providers. Paramount, uh,
I,
NFL is on that. NFL is on that too.
yeah,
NFL
I
Plus.
think it just gives people the idea that, oh, we're not just a streaming service; we're a streaming service plus this
Yeah,
other thing that we don't exactly say. But you really want us for the streaming service, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, you're right. I mean, what is it? Sony bought Funimation and then basically merged that with Crunchyroll. Is more or less in the uh, process of dissolving everything that's Funimation into Crunchyroll to
Yeah,
keep its the Crunchyroll name because of what it built up, and then they also bought out Right Stuff, got rid of it,
yeah.
merged it into Crunchyroll in order
Okay.
to steal their store. So it's the merging of every of a lot of companies is not. I mean, it's definitely not unheard of.
Right, right.
Um, it is curious though, like when will they change the Crunchyroll name, or is it is it still viable enough that people recognize Crunchyroll as the one-stop shop for anime, the go-to place for
Yeah.
anime, and now the go-to place for anime merch.
Right, and that's a tricky proposition because what would Sony rename it to? You know, and
I
how would they probe fanfare with a proposed name? Because they could either say on any given day they could say, hey, we are the Crunchyroll is now X, but then imagine what would happen if people just saw that all of a sudden, not having it,
yeah,
kind of thing.
I almost think they would they would do themselves a disservice by changing the name, because the Crunchyroll brand got built up by a grassroots campaign, pretty
Yep.
much, of saying that, hey, we're for anime, we're for the studios, the mangaka, the people who really work on these shows, and obviously we come to find out years later that they were full of BS.
Right.
But that's how they got built up, and so they got spread around cons in the community, and that's Crunchyroll is, as bad as I hate it, just the place that everyone goes to. I know High Dive is starting to build a name for itself, but I think it still has problems and a ways to go. And what is it? They also just, was it them that shut down streaming service in 2 or 3 other countries? I think it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I I don't know what that means for them. I don't know if they're long for this world, or if that's just a strategic move to say, okay, we weren't doing enough over there, so let's
Right.
allocate and focus on building our brand a little bit more in these hotbed
Right.
countries.
Yeah.
So
So, what you said you were able to get home early to catch up on the anime. Like,
oh yeah.
what did you have on your list?
Oh, what don't I have on my list these days? Da, 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 da. Yeah. Well, no. Do we want to? I don't know how I want this anymore. But yeah, I mean, this is basically my list for the winter season that I was going to go through. Definitely
Oh
have
yeah.
some shows that are returning in Freerin and Shangri-La Frontier.
All right.
I have watched the first episode of everything that has aired in a few episode twos
Okay.
of a lot of stuff. Um, not to do what I want to talk about. Uh, so I guess I'll talk about Chain Soldier because I just finished the episode 2 of that. Um, I still don't know. Like, I still don't know about this show.
Mm,
It's not. It's not really doing anything other than here's some action and here's some fan service.
okay.
It doesn't seem all that interesting right now. I got one more episode before I decide to drop it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it just I don't know. It went from the first episode being kind of all in your face,
Okay.
very action heavy and oriented, giving you maybe a little bit of lore about how only females have access to these special powers. I would almost describe it, especially after this second episode, as a female power fantasy, because the guy that it turns into this white demon creature here. Yeah, he is basically treated as a slave, and they do call him a slave.
Hmm.
But he kind of enjoys it.
All right.
And it just like he gets something out of it. I mean, it is definitely that dom and submissive uh type role to
Okay.
where he will get something out of it, something that he uh, rather enjoys.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, it's like that's been well, the majority of the second episode. The second episode to me seemed like it would have been a better suited, uh, probably more in the middle of the season than being
Mm-hmm.
a second episode, because the second episode was basically all him uh, cleaning their mansion and getting blackmailed by one of the girls that can basically has Ant Man's powers, where she can grow and shrink at will,
Mm-hmm.
and just a few funny situations there, but nothing really too crazy happened.
Right.
But yeah, so I, it's okay, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep watching it.
Mm.
It just it isn't hit or catching me.
I hear you. I hear you.
Uh,
Yeah, there
you
was
seen it
something
yet?
I was
Or
watching
I'm sorry.
randomly on something on YouTube TV. I didn't know if they remade Ipcrest File or they modernized a presentation. Like there's some content I'm learning that I can get away with just listening to the people because it's all dialogue, right? And
Right.
sometimes like I can easily see myself checking out if it's just not happening, like within certain bits of the show. Seems to be regardless of whatever I'm trying to watch. Like if there's nothing that will hook me, then sometimes I check out like right within the first maybe 5-10 minutes of a show. Like not happening. Not gonna watch that ever again. But I give you kudos for trying to give it at least another episode.
Yep. I uh I definitely like to give shows the best possible chance
Right.
to hook me. But it, I mean, heck, just with this season, I have 23 shows within the season
Okay.
that I'm going to try to keep up with and watch. But that's the great thing about having, kind of a 3 episode rule, is that it's pretty easy to keep up with stuff in the early episodes,
Right.
because it just, at least for me, it seems to be easier to watch them in like the first 3 weeks. But after that, it seems like something always happens, because life starts getting in the way, so you can't watch as much.
Right. Right. Right.
So it just becomes easier to drop shows that you're not enjoying.
Right.
And I mean, there's tons of anime out there too. There's no point to sit there and watch a show that you're not enjoying when you could just easily drop it and
Yeah.
move on to another one and check it out,
Right.
and maybe that one you'll enjoy. Uh, you watching anything this season?
I will get around to watching Frieren and Shangri-La Frontier, and then I think it's Spy Family. That was the other one that the word of mouth tells me to go out and check out. But I was watching because ever since I got more in tune with Brandon's shows and what he's presented, and just the persona that he's often used, talking about
Hmm.
Helsing. I think it's Helsing or that anime Helsing. That
Yeah, he really enjoys his Helsing persona.
and so because I found it on Crunchyroll and I started watching that, and then um, somehow in the midst of my searching, like I even wanted to finish watching Dragon Ball because I think I didn't even go past the very first season, especially when it came out back in the '90s when they peddled that with Sailor Moon, the
Oh
original
yeah.
Dragon Ball. Like they didn't go beyond the very first season, right? And
Oh yeah.
and then in the midst of searching for that, I found, I think it's called City Hunter. And yeah, I think in other
Much.
streams I was made aware that there was a live movie. I don't know if I even want to venture to look at that, not yet anyway. But
Oh
City Hunter
yeah.
was an
Evolution.
uh,
Yeah.
but City Hunter, uh, City Hunter just hooked me, especially when I recently became aware of what is called the city pop genre of J-pop back in the '80s, and like, oh, there was an immediate draw for me to to check into City Hunter, and the artwork, given the time frame in which it was released, it was like hand in glove, because it just reminded me of the art aesthetic of Macross. Now, I'm not sure about to a T, but I can tell they come from the same, you might say, time period. And I don't even know if anime does it like that in terms of categorizing time periods, and a lot of the stuff you would see through anime at that time, if they were drawn very similarly. I don't know if they ever were categorized like that, but I can
Uh,
see a difference depending on the era, if you will.
yeah, there is definitely a. I know I at least use it, and I've because I've heard a few other people use it. There's the '80s aesthetic, the '90s aesthetic, the 2000s aesthetic, and
Right.
then I don't even know what they call the anime these days because there's been such this amazing shift into the way anime kind of looks because they're using such these new and advanced techniques that I feel that they have gone and leaped
Hmm.
like maybe a decade further ahead than where we're at now. Much like you talk about '80s anime, Akira really
Yeah.
did. Like it really showed and pushed where the animation medium could go and could be at.
Right.
Well, the animes that are coming out now, like last season, I mean, Frieren is one of them that when the action is good, it is it was probably some of the best that we've seen in the season. But Jujutsu Kaisen
Okay.
was absolutely off the wall. Every episode after episode 5 was a non-stop animation spectacular. And there was even one episode that there was so much going on that it was too much for
Okay.
me to really watch because the oh shoot, just everything flying around at the speeds that it was going. I just my eyes and my brain couldn't process what
Hmm.
was happening,
Right.
and that's kind of where we're at with animation now. And I really I enjoy that, but I also hate it as well because when you get newer anime watchers that are going to see anime like that,
Okay.
these studios and the artist and everything, they have such access to advanced technology and better understanding of techniques than what we had in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Right.
They're never going to go back and watch something like like a classic Dragon Ball. They're going
Right.
to see that and they're just going to be like, "This is crap. I'm not watching this."
Yeah, I'm of the mindset. I think I tried watching Gundam Unicorn. I think that's where I came across that via Netflix, and I get where they're coming from, and I noticed that when I
Yeah.
when I ordered a DVD back in '04 called Macross Zero. It was like a proto Macross OVA or DVD. Basically, they tried to combine updated 2D artwork with CGI at the time, and I still don't know how I
Man,
feel about CGI. I don't know how I still feel about CGI. I know there's a place for it, but when and where, that's always the tricky thing.
uh,
Yeah.
there's some people there's some studios that do very well with what they do now, and I mean that's the technique that I'm kind of uh, talking about that studios are using now. That really I feel UFO Table, the guys that were behind some of the Fate Stay movies and
Okay.
Demon Slayer, they kind of developed this technique to use 2D and CG animation with laying CG over the top of the 2D,
Hmm.
and you know, kind of like how live action or Hollywood movies are done now, to where they'll still use practical effects and
Yeah.
only use CG sparingly instead of trying to make it the entire scene.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where they're at now. And as long as it's done correctly, you'll never know that it's ever used.
Right.
And I think that's the trick, is to get it in there and not have your audience not know that
Right.
it's being done.
Right.
And
Right.
I find myself being less off put
Yeah.
by CG the more anime I watch, and the more it gets incorporated into shows. Like there's a show that I'm actually watching this season. That's the wait. There we go. My random pick show of the season, because I'm trying to expand my anime watching catalog, because this is
Hmm.
just a show that I would never watch unless I forced myself to.
Uh-huh.
Very cute show, just about people wanting to hang out and play mahjong.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
But for the most part, it's done very much in 2D. But there's always a scene that I can tell that they're using CGI,
Uh-huh.
and that's so they have an automatic mixing table for the mahjong tiles,
Uh-huh.
and they'll have like all the girls' hands pushing the mahjong tiles in, but you can clearly tell that these are not hand drawn
Oh,
hands,
okay.
because it's kind of like it's kind of like that they've made a 3D model of a hand, and they're
Mm-hmm.
moving it around with a mouse, because it's just so jarring.
All right.
But no, it's a 2 episodes in, and it has made me laugh more than I expected it to.
Okay.
Because middle black haired girl with the little peep on her
Yeah, yeah.
head. Like the first scene is her mom kicking her out of the house
Okay.
and saying, "You make too much noise. Get out of here. I don't want you around anymore."
Wow.
And she was like, "Come back when you calm down."
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like her dad calls her and says, "Hey, I got a place for you to, go wild as much
Okay.
as you want. You just have to clean it up."
All right.
And it's just an old mahjong parlor.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a nice watch. I kind of dreaded it because Slice of life is just not a genre of anime I care to
I hear you.
watch because it just it tends to all be very samey to me. It just going through the day to day grind or uh, just it's very mundane when I
Hmm.
watch them.
Yeah.
But this one definitely takes it kind of in a weird direction because not only do they have all that, but uh, so far the three girls up front they have no idea how to play mahjong,
Right.
so they learn by reading the mahjong mangas that are
Oh,
in the
goodness.
shop,
Okay. All right.
and so they get when they like play their moves or whatever, they they do this fourth wall breaking act to
Okay.
where they're acting like they're in a manga because it makes it fun for them.
Okay. Huh. I will have to check that out.
Yeah, it's an interesting show. Um, Although I don't think it's on the bubble for me yet.
Oh, okay.
Just I mean, 2 episodes in, and I'm laughing. I'm having a good time with it. It's just a cool kind of sit back and chill and watch. This is one of those ones that I wouldn't mind watching as a dub.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah. Uh oh. Uh oh.
What's going on? Oh,
It's
What up?
Brandon. What up, Brandon?
Oh, not a whole lot, and no echo today. How
Sweet.
lovely. Yes.
Yeah, I noticed last night on your stream you changed your mic from the Wave DX to I think what is it, the Rode?
Yep. I got a pod.
Yeah.
I got the Rode mic. So yeah. So
Yeah, I
how is
think-
everyone tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. Just talking anime and going over the season little by little.
Yeah. It's
I have more of a reason now. See, I don't know where in your neck of the woods, Brandon, how
Mhm.
your neck of the woods treats snow incidents. Before,
Well,
Let's stay inside.
during, and after.
well. I'm in Idaho, in the high desert plains area. Sometimes we get a ass ton of snow, and sometimes we don't. And right now, we're kind of in that in between. They had called a blizzard warning, and actually, out of an abundance of caution, our school district decided to shut down. They just wanted a 4-day weekend, but that's just my own opinion. But if you have to have a reason, that's a good reason. Our biggest problem right now has been the wind. We've had about 4 days of 30 plus mile per hour wind, and for us, that's quite a bit. And to have it be sustained for the length of time that it is, yeah, it's caused some snow drifting and other stuff, but we could be in a lot worse shape. So we typically handle snow pretty well.
Okay.
We then cleanup typically doesn't take too long. They've got a de-icing agent that they spray on the roads beforehand, and ever since they started doing that, the amount of work they have to do on the freeways to get them cleared is almost nothing. It's rather
Wow.
nice that they can do that. Then after, it's we're a hardy people. We love it here.
Yeah,
I will say that's the
Portland still does not know how to deal with it.
No.
So let's just say I was looking forward to picking up something from Target like right before 5 o'clock, and I
Mhm.
call and I get no response. I hear repeated rings for like 2-3 minutes, and it just gives me an indication. Oh, they might have been let go early just for snow concerns. Because
Yeah. Yeah, over towards the coast, if you start getting snow, pretty much anything to the west of the Wasatch Front, yeah, you guys don't know how to handle snow at all. Just an inch and it's like, nope, fuck that shit, I'm out. Leave the cars on the road.
yeah,
And actually it reminds me of a time back in I think it was either 97 or 98. When I was living up in the Coeur d'Alene area, my dad took us all to the Portland area, because there was a boat show going on.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun seeing all the cool boats and that, and seeing which one we were going to try and get. And right the day that we were leaving, it decided to not only snow, but it literally ass blasted that whole entire region with like 6-7 inches.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, nobody knew how to do anything with it, and it took us forever to get out of there. We tried going, and we tried taking what is it, 84, that goes through the gorge and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they closed that, so we had to turn around, go up 5, and then cross back over on 90.
Oh
Yeah, that was a long ass day, but yeah, our nice little, our little 90s minivan, front wheel drive, little bit of weight to it. Yeah, it had no problems with it. So, but then again, we're from Idaho, where especially my dad, where he grew up at, it was a little higher up than 4,200 feet. So snow was something that he was used to dealing with. And we got home. Took us forever. We got home.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it could be worse. I guess it could be down in the south when they get snow. If it's just if it even kind of looks like a snowflake, they're like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Hey, kind of calling me out there, Brandon.
Well, it's I wouldn't say it if it wasn't
You're
the
not
truth.
wrong. You're not wrong.
It's just a reason for me to stay in this weekend, because
Yeah.
I found out the gym I go to, they decided to cancel classes for tomorrow. Then my church said, well, because of the impending snow and weather,
Yeah.
all services this weekend are canceled. So it's like, okay.
Well, they're definitely taking the cautious route, and as I said,
Yeah.
our school district decided to do that, and it snowed, I think, for like a minute,
Yeah,
but most of it has just been the wind. The wind has
Right.
been the biggest problem.
exactly.
So I can't blame them. Although
Yeah.
today, even with the wind was coming up from the south, so we got up above freezing.
Oh,
And everything on the road was melting. It was just a gigantic slush fest out there, the nasty, dirty slush. And yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm. So, as far as this season goes, I finally did drop a show since
Really?
last night. So
Ooh.
let me pop up my list, and I don't have too many of them, but the one that I did drop was Sengoku Yoku. I did decide to drop that one. Yeah, I did decide to drop that one. Got my list up here for you, but this is my current watch list, and everything has finally aired, and I should drop this one, and there are many
Yes.
reasons why everybody should drop it, but
Yes.
I'm not, because I'm a masochist and a sadist and a weirdo that way. This is
Oh.
the weird. I went through redo of Healer, the ATX version, twice, so I obviously am a glutton for stupid shit. So, but there's something about it that just, if you want to be able to fight against the weirdos, I guess you have to know how to fight them. And this is definitely, I don't doubt it. But looking at the rest of it, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say you're not wrong in what you're saying exactly,
But I'm not right
but
either.
yeah, because I think that there is more than enough. Like, you don't need to know every frame of this anime to be able to fight against it and say that it's wrong.
True.
Like, but so I've skimmed through both of the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, you don't get a minute in to episode 1 or 2 before you really need to just get rid of this anime.
You need to bleach bit your brain. I definitely
Yeah.
get that, but I will bite the bullet. I will watch it and I'll critique it. But as far as the rest of it, I still need to watch the first episode of Snack Basue that finally aired, and that the isekai one at the short one that isekai into another world to run the spa. I couldn't find it. I could not find it anywhere. So I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to deal with it.
Oh, what was it called?
it was all just Romanji'd. And let me pull up the list here. I'll show you. Or no, let me grab my list. Ba-do-ba-do-ba-do.
Let me see if
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
my
Come on. There we go.
anime site or non-anime site has it.
Let's see. I think I might have actually fully taken it off. So I'm not seeing it. Well, let's browse the whole 20. They've already started filling in for 2025. Let's see. Scroll.
Why can't I remember the name of this anime?
As I said, they didn't translate it, so it was all still Romanji, but basically here it is. Matoyo is Isekai no yu Kaitaku ki Arufo Onsen. Basically translated to I got isekai into a fantasy world where I am now running the spa. And as you can see from the picture, it's got all sorts of fantasy, literal fantasy women with all sorts of body types. And as I have no idea how this is the number one most popular for either of them. It makes no sense. No sense at all. But they're just shorts, they're only 5 minutes long, and I could not find it. I couldn't find it, so I'm like, all right. So I just deleted it completely off the list. But looking at the list, there's shows that if they're coming back for additional seasons, if you've already watched the prior, you're gonna like it. Like Classroom of the Elite, never seen it, so I'm not gonna put it on there. I do have Mashal, and I think Mashal is friggin' hilarious and fun and enjoyable. But there's a lot of people that have problems with it. Really? Let's see. So this one supposedly is really good, but I haven't seen the first season, so I passed.
Oh, yeah.
Not doing any more soccer crap or haiku or whatever, so I'm not doing the movie. I didn't like the first season of Dangers in My Heart, so I'm not doing it. There's a ton of them that I skipped, like Bottom Tier Character, second Blue Exorcist, The Witch and the Beast, My Instant Death.
Hey. Witch and Beast. I actually just watched the first episode. About an hour ago. It is good.
It was good?
Yeah, it was like really good for a first episode. Very action packed and very mysterious, I would say. Like it makes you wonder what's going to be going on in the world because it has witches. It has a guy coming out of a coffin that looks like a freaking giant wrestler and punches a witch in a gut, and there's a scene where a witch has like 12 girls with their hands, their feet cut off, all bloody.
That's one thing I have noticed this season. There's a few more TVMA shows, and they're less afraid to go blood and guts on it than what it was last season. But
yeah,
it's kind of funny. This one's got a 69% rating. 72 for gushing.
Wow, that actually went down.
Yeah. Let's see. Metallic Rogue. I decided not to do that.
That wasn't a bad first episode.
Let's see. This one's, of course, that's the thing I've noticed this season. Those that are actually classified as ecchi, they're actually going ecchi as opposed to the faux ecchi that some of them were trying to get away with. But
I actually didn't get ecchi from Tales of Wedding Rings.
Oh, it's got some fan service and booba in it. So yes.
Okay.
This one was way more violent than I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah.
But there's just a ton of stuff that I normally probably would have at least looked at. I'm not even gonna try to do. So I'm happy with what I have, and only dropping one show and not picking up. I could have gotten. I was tempted to watch Bong Braven, but I think I want to watch some of the older Bong Braven stuff because it actually looks funny.
Oh, okay. So that's a returning or
kinda. It's like offshoot-ish type thing. But Genesik yesterday sent the link to a clip for one of the original Bong Braven shows, and it's basically it looks like it's going to be all super serious, and then the mecha itself is very human-esque in a lot of ways and comedic. It looked pretty funny.
Does it
This
have
one,
a robot dong?
I don't think it has a robot dong, but it's pretty out. It's out there, but it's not too far out there.
Okay.
So I would say overall, what I have on the list that I'm actually watching, let me back it up to here. TVMA 14, TVMA 14. This one is just rated G for everybody.
It's called Fluffy
It should
Paradise. What do you expect from that?
All right, this show is much better than it has any right to be. It's probably not going to really go too much further than its base premise, but you know what? That's okay. I've always got to have at least one show a season that A, makes me laugh, B, is cute as hell, and C, if somebody was to come walking around the monitors, because coming into my office, you can't see the monitors. If they were to come around here, I wouldn't be embarrassed in the slightest showing them this. Not even close. So I absolutely love Fluffy Paradise. And actually, what's its current rating? Okay, so it's about average, a C tier, so that's about normal. Let's see. This one made me laugh my ass off. I'm not sure if it's going to get much more than
Torture
the base
Princess.
punchline or the base what they do in the first episode, but you know what? I'm there for it. These two just make me laugh, and they're both safe. They're both basically TV PG or PG rated.
Hmm.
You don't have
Okay.
to worry about the kids watching it or getting the wrong idea. Well, with this one, you kind of have to, but then once you realize the torture that they're doing, it plays it up massively for comedic effect. And that's what I was hoping for with this one. This one, our bud Andy Matrix put out a video saying, yeah, the localizers have messed this one up.
Have they now?
Yes. And that's sad because the first episode of this, I didn't know I didn't notice anything myself. I really liked it. It's cutesy. It's hard talking about stuff, shows that are set in high school as being cutesy, sexy, that type of thing, because that makes me look like a creepy old man
Right.
because
right,
I'm not in that age bracket anymore.
right.
Yeah.
But this is the
I mean-
type of show that while it is cutesy, it is sexy, but it's not. I didn't really think of it as being too raunchy. It has some of the standard, sexy or sexual comedic events in it, but they didn't go to like how they didn't do the level that they do in this. Not even close. This would be rated TV 14.
So you're saying like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, pop sexy?
Yeah, that's how I would classify it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Let's see. Ishura. It was violent as all hell, but I'm not sure if I liked how it presented itself.
It's
That and
it's weird, right? Like you get that first episode, and then they kind of do like another first episode in the second episode.
Right.
yeah, I'm not totally sold on this one. I'll give it the 2 more, but I can see myself dropping this. And the biggest problem I have with it is this.
Oh, the Disney and Hulu. I'll tell you my biggest problem with it. They have multiple times said either about a character or about an event, like nobody knows their name or nobody knows what happens, but yet the narrator goes on to explain into kind of detail
The
what went on, and I'm
exposition's
like,
there. Yeah.
if they don't know, if no one knows, then why are we getting to know? Why do you
Yeah.
know?
Why? Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure
it's
if it'll
off-putting.
pass the 3 episode, but we'll see.
It's very beautiful though.
Yeah, the animation is very fluid in it, although I would say the color palette's muted, but the subject matter requires the muted palette. So
It is. The clip I posted the other day, I actually had to lighten it up because you couldn't see
it. Yeah.
anything.
all I'll say about this one, Lester, if you do decide to watch it, you better Depending upon which variety you are, you got to say your
VPN.
1,000 Hail Marys or something to that effect. So
Have a VPN on and send your FBI agent
yeah,
a gift basket.
yeah, it's. I have no idea how High Dive is pulling this off. I really don't. But at the same time, I'm glad they are, if for no other reason than just to be that service. If you have something that is a little edgier than most, there is a home for it. So I'll take it. And actually, I do have a meme that's going to be shared tomorrow that specifically talks about this and another and this one. So Delicious in Dungeon. This is the type of show that I really like. If you're going to have a fantasy world, go full fantasy, and they're doing it, and they're actually addressing something that I think would be very pressing. If you were doing a full on dungeon dive,
Yeah.
how do you have enough food?
So I didn't have this one on my list, but I was out of shows to watch, and me and the wife were sitting down for dinner,
Mhm.
and I put it on, and I enjoyed the first episode of this.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was fun. It's got a yeah. It doesn't have an extremely out there premise. Yeah, pretty standard. Dungeon diving, face the dragon,
yeah.
loose the dragon. Party member gets eaten by the dragon, but the dragon has such a slow metabolism that you can take your time going back to fight the dragon just
Mhm.
to rescue
Ooh.
to rescue your party member. But I will say this: all the right people are freaking out about her, even though she is fully clothed at all
Right.
times.
She is a good character in it. Like I love
Yeah.
her expressions and her thoughts and stuff because she's the only girl in the group, and it makes sense that she would be the one that's like, I have no interest in eating these disgusting monsters. But the guys are like, I kind of always wanted to know what it was like.
Exactly. This is probably rated TV 14, but really it's closer to PG. It has just a little bit of violence, killing the monsters, but it's not like super gory or anything. But yeah, standard,
Yeah,
good fantasy, good comedy, good adventure. It's safe.
I definitely like the way that, like you were describing, that they take it, and the way that the progression in that first episode happens. Everything makes sense of what
Mhm.
they're doing.
Yeah, it really does. And then we move on to Chain Soldier, and I've watched the second episode of this, and as I said, once again it's High Dive, and once again they're basically showing the second. If there's three cuts of the one, your let's say cut down TV 14, your ATX version, which is heavy TVMA bordering on NC 17, and then the Blu-ray edition. Yeah, this one, they're doing the second one, and as I said, I've got a meme for this one. So
I mean, this is Chain Soldier is on the bubble for me
I
because
think it is for me too.
I'm just, it's not going anywhere. 2 episodes and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
And
well, it's going somewhere, and I don't like where it's going.
well, I know everybody's saying that it's like very uncensored, but I mean, I'm watching it uncensored and I'm not seeing anything really over the top with it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
But-
I don't know. I don't get it.
yeah. It's definitely a bubble show. Then of course my wonderful Urusei Yatsura. If you're not watching this, you need to watch it. It's so good. Sasuke and Peeps.
Is that a well done reboot? Because it looks like
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, it's glorious. It's fantastic, and it hits. I believe it hits everything that the original does, but it's only going to be about 55 episodes long in total by the time it's all said and done. So they've got this second season, or as they're putting it on High Dive, the third season. It's basically the second season, first core. So, but the first season was fantastic. It was hilarious. It was so much fun, and all the characters, they're so spot on. The voice acting is perfect. Don't do the dub because the dub is trash.
Except
to
for the
know.
British dub. The British dub
The
is
OG,
gold.
the OG British dub is hilarious, but the current dub of this is awful. So just bear
Noted.
that in mind. I love it. Sasuke and Peeps. I think I was expecting more, and we'll see how this next episode turns out. If since the first episode was a double episode, if I don't like it after this one, I'll probably drop it. Undead Adventure. Yeah, it's got all this. It's got the good fantasy premises, and guy can't make it in his regular life, so he tries to become the best adventurer, basically, S rank adventurer in his undead life. So, let's see, Freyrin. Of course, it's Freyrin. That ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Snack Bossaway. I've been wanting to see this. I'm going to see it. Then, of course, Shangri-La Frontier. You can't go wrong with it, Freyrin, or Apothecary. You just can't. So yeah, Lester, there you go. And yeah, one other thing with for all channel members on the YouTube, they now allow you to premiere videos for members first, and then schedule it to go to everybody else. So since you both are members, I have done that. I've got for the season opener of Anime 101, got 3 clips that Clifton was nice enough to create, and
Good deal.
got them uploaded. So if you want to know what happened without watching the whole thing, there you go.
Cool.
So yeah, that's that, and I'm gonna take off. I need to get cleaned up and try to get my foot to stop being such a bitch. I'm still dealing with that stupid planter on it. Still.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah, that's some bitches. I thought I had it killed, but it's like, you come right back, and
yeah.
right, and it's actually moved down a little bit, so it's even more in a place where I put pressure on the front of my foot for walking. So yeah. So yeah, hope to see you guys tomorrow. It'll be a lot of fun. And tomorrow the guest is Zeropium from Loki's Mornings of Mischief on Mondays. I've got Josh popping in. We're gonna meme it up. We're gonna talk the current season, and then we're gonna go into game talk, because there's a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to talk about, but I haven't been able to do my new gaming stream because I've had to deal with family stuff.
I hear you.
Yeah,
That blasted family.
pesky kids.
Yeah. Mine's
I don't
mine
know.
took off
I
for the
guess it
weekend,
pays
so
to be-
I'm free. I'm finally free.
It pays to be the uncle, not the dad or the mom.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
And in some ways it does, but I'm glad I got them,
Yeah.
but I wish that they would heed the words. That is the curse of being a parent.
Yep.
We didn't heed the words of our parents on
no.
certain things, and our kids are going to do the exact same thing and try. It's that we're trying to break that racket cycle, but it's just one of those things that just never feels like it can be fully, truly broken.
And if Circle of Life was rewritten properly in that context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the kids. Let's see. Ever since my one had her one incident, we haven't had anything else happen, and she's been better since she's been banned from her phone for 3 months.
Oh.
So
That's good.
I'm
still
hoping. I'm hoping it has set in that she needs to stay being good like she has been, because she has been much better. About at least we're dealing with us most of the time. She still has her quirks and all that, but
Right.
who doesn't have their quirks? Oh, hold on, my brain just died. The little mechs that they have in Ghosts in the Shell.
Okay.
Oh, Touchcomas.
The Touchcomas. Quirks. We've got quirks. yes,
Oh my
Touchcoma,
gosh.
you have quirks.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna take off. Have a great night, and hope to be able to see you sometime tomorrow. So I know it's going to start early. I've started doing the show much earlier than I had been in the past. So 8 Mountain, 8 to roughly 11, 12-ish Mountain. So for the West Coasters, that puts it 7 to 11, roughly 11. For the East Coasters, 10 to 2.
All right.
All right,
Yep.
man. Well, thank you for stopping by, Brendan.
Yeah, thank you. Y'all have a good night now.
You too.
See ya. See you later.
All right. Now back to the real talk. I always like it when Brandon stopped by. He's a good guy. Oh man, what didn't he go through that I have on my list? Uh, Banished from the heroes party. And no, I won't talk about that.
I still have to get used to managing that because whenever I watch you, whether you're, I think I've noticed you on some of his streams, and you guys go through
Oh,
that list.
Cliff.
And, oh, uh, where are they referring this? Like, where did they get this interface? I'm like, oh, anime. Okay, so it all makes sense now. And like, because I thought he was using a list off of Crunchyroll, but oh, it's a different list altogether.
Yeah, any list, not any list. Actually, yeah, anylist dot co. I think it was.
Okay, yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Clifton.
it definitely helps things. I watched Blaine. He had it separated by like
Mm.
premiere
Oh,
days
oh, wow. Okay.
last night. So
Wow. Okay.
I need to pick his brain and figure out how in the world he does that, because that would make this so much easier
Right.
to kind of keep up with and watch, because I'm like, I don't know what's premiering today. Let me just go check my site.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, it definitely helps keep up with things. I swear, using a service like Restream or StreamYard helps with pulling up chats and getting this stuff on and off screen fast and
Yeah.
smooth. The only thing is pay, like they are putting so much behind a paywall,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah. That's why I haven't touched my. Yeah, I know.
um,
I was pretty much off YouTube in terms of with my usual activity. I did participate in at least one live stream while I was in San Diego with my parents, but you know, with a lot of stuff going on with other people and their loved ones, and that reminder, hug your loved ones. I'm like,
oh yeah,
so I just because I don't get to do it often, but whenever I'm down there, and my dad and I were both early risers, and we'll just shoot the breeze. Don't get to do that, don't get to do that
oh
when I'm
yeah,
up here. They're down there, and you know, don't know when I'll keep having those opportunities. So it's usually fun too. So I pretty
oh yeah.
much gave my family the time of day, whereas
Yeah,
I got my routine up here. So,
yeah, I definitely know what you mean. It's definitely important to do as much with your family as you can, because as it said, we're not promised tomorrow. So and I'm very guilty of not doing it, or not at least calling my family
right.
enough, because I just realized my dad is about to turn 55 this year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's not something that I really ever think about.
No, I get it. I get it. Like I told them, I said, often we take it for granted that we get to wake up the next morning.
Oh yeah. It,
Yeah.
it's something that when I work when I like when I became a manager and I worked, and I had to start thinking about people who like safety
Oh
stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And I had one of the other managers talking to me, and he's like, he doesn't get why people don't understand about safety, and how you can talk to them all day long and remind them every day, but they still kind of forget
Yeah.
about it. And it's because you go 2, 3, 4 years in the
Right.
same job around the same machinery, that nothing happens to anybody. You don't
Right.
see anything bad happening, so it just, you get numb to the idea that, yeah, at a second's notice, this big machine could take an arm off or could end your life.
Right.
And it's I think it's kind of the same thing. People get so caught up in their own personal business, which I mean we all have issues that we have to work through and what you call it figure out, and it's
Yeah,
really hard to think about anyone else sometimes.
sure.
But yeah, definitely every now and again it's good to take the time to probably sit down, call a loved one, or just if you can hug them. It don't even have to be a long conversation.
No, it doesn't. It just, what's up?
Yeah,
Nothing much. But
yeah,
that was just the way I just treated it, just being away. And now that I'm slowly just getting back into the groove of being in my own space and the stuff that I left over. Talking about what am I doing this weekend, being snowed in. you know, yeah,
you're right.
I'm just gonna be watching whatever anime I can finish because Brandon had his life things, and I'm sure you've had yours where I
Oh
have to
yeah.
circle back on things and then loop around and check new stuff out if that would interest me anyway. You know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of stuff out there. You know,
Yeah.
people just it kind of drives me nuts a little bit when I'll hear like my kids or someone say, "There's nothing to do," and I'm like, "You have a phone, a tablet, internet."
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you could still find something to do that's not online, but if you like, I'm not an outdoors person. I don't really try to go outdoors much, so I'm not gonna force them to when I know I don't want to myself.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. 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 It's one of those things I enjoy.
But you could find a new hobby
Yeah.
online, or not that I want them to stream because I mean they're kids.
Yeah. Sure.
Streaming online as a kid still kind of blows my mind, but my youngest daughter actually does it over on Twitch. But yeah, just learning a new hobby, like everything that I do here on YouTube, I've learned myself.
Yeah.
The streaming, the all the behind the scenes stuff, camera stuff,
Yeah.
lighting, mic settings, just you know everything that goes on and around it.
Right.
I learned how to do all this purple crap you see around me.
No, that's cool. That's cool stuff.
But yeah, like you can learn. People can learn as much as they want to. The fact is when someone says that I can't learn it, what they're really saying is that I don't want to.
Or they don't want to put in the time because
Yeah.
everyone's going to have a learning curve. Yeah, something keep. Oh yeah. Oh, that's me. That is me. Sorry, Clifton. It's like I could take care of it, and I should. I admit I should. It's just one of those things where, it, like I tell people when I work because I work from home and it's got its goods, it's got its bads, and one of them is like I can work whenever I want and I can get off work more or less as long as I give a good heads up. Like, and I can get away with a lot of things being at home, but it's like when the day is over, I just want to relax because it's like work, eat my dinner, watch a few things, go to bed, and then that's my work. That's my week. Do a thing or two, do a hobby if I get to do one, and then go to bed because then it's the next work day. And the weekend, sadly, is just like catching up on chores because sometimes I do like my sleep. You know,
Oh yeah.
I remind my 6-year-old niece is like, come on, you gotta take advantage of the sleep that you're afforded because when you get older, it's not gonna be there when you realize, oh, sleep sleep is my friend. you know
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, I just so I've been trying to lose some weight for a while now. Probably the last see about the actual last year, and the the thing that people keep saying, like ways to actually lose weight is just getting 8 hours of sleep a night and drinking water.
Yeah,
And I'm like, okay, I can drink the water, but can we talk about the sleep thing?
yeah,
Because I can function on 4 hours of sleep. I
yeah,
don't like to,
yeah.
but
I could do something similar. I think 6 hours is what I can use to function. But
yeah.
there are some weekends where I just crash and I wake up at like 10 and like night and day. It's especially when you don't have to worry about the alarm and you just wake up at the right time. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. There's like I have a deviated septum, so I don't sleep for long periods of times. Anyways,
Oh, okay.
like I'll wake up probably about 4 hours after I've gone to bed, and if I don't go like lay right back down and close my eyes, I'll be up the rest of the day until I'm tired.
Yeah.
And but I was happy. I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. I slept for a solid 10.5 hours.
Okay.
Me and the wife went to bed early, and I don't normally have to be up till about 6. I woke up at when did I go? I think we went to bed around 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
7:30, and I woke
Okay.
up around 4:30,
Okay.
and I felt great.
Oh yeah.
But then the next night got me, and I didn't sleep but
Oh
four
yeah.
hours. So
Yeah.
stupid YouTube and having to make
Ah.
me put
Yeah.
out videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, it's a uh, you don't realize when you're young how much sleep you would really like, or when you're an adult, you don't realize that you got way more sleep when you were young,
Yeah.
but you could function off of being up for 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I I think I tried. I think I stayed up for 24 hours a year or two ago, and I was so kind of out of my mind
No. Yeah.
with
I
that.
I I used to do at a homeless shelter. I volunteered at years ago. The things were such at that time. It was still in its infancy, at least for the place I was doing it, and I had done one of those overnight shifts where I stayed up from 11 to 7 in the morning, I think it was, because I thought that's what we needed to do. That we were kind of like overnight monitors, got to be watchful, right?
Yeah.
So, but one night I did that and I did a number on my body and I ended up getting sick. And it's just like one of those things like, yep, I kind of overdid it. You know, you think you're like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. And then you're not fine.
Yeah, you're fine until you're not fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, it's yeah, the what is it, what was it saying, time makes fools of us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that that's there are definitely days that I wish that I was, at least 14 or 15 again, just to have the energy that I
Right.
used to have,
Yep.
and could do some of the stuff that I do today, but I force my stuff or
Yeah.
force myself to do the things that I do today.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
So what
Oh
else do
man.
you so outside of those shows you pointed out earlier, did anything pique your interest, like okay, that's the next one I'm gonna check into. And that's funny. I think is that the one that uh Brandon said he was going to cancel Sengoku.
Sengoku Yoko. Yeah, I wish he had given me a minute to pick his brain about this
Oh, yeah.
because I don't understand why he dropped it. That first episode was good.
Oh,
Um, you had some fairly decent animation in the first episode. And he was saying that every show's kind of got some kind of etchy theme
okay.
or going on with it. I would actually disagree that a majority of the shows are starting off with very action packed first
Hmm.
episodes, and this one was kind of no different.
Okay.
It was very interesting in that you get you get two fights in this first
Okay.
episode, which was very surprising for the most part. Animes have a formula of where they'll do the first episode, and if there's going to be any action, they'll kind of build up to the final fight in the
Hmm.
first episode.
Right.
This one just kind of gets right to it, and you get a cool transformation in the Fox Boy, in kind of curious. Like it makes me kind of curious, like how that works because I think the Fox Girl is full demon. He's half demon, but she can apparently transfer her demon powers to him to turn him into a full demon. And then you got this little samurai boy in training,
Hmm.
who is apparently very very good, because he forces another yokai to reveal themselves.
Hmm.
Because the way he does it is he goes to attack what he perceives as another human,
Hmm.
but it's actually a corpse being controlled by this yokai, and he has to stop the blade coming down
Hmm.
before it, because the yokai has taken the form of a old samurai helmet,
Hmm.
and he has to stop the blade from coming down before it kind of cuts him in half. So he stops it, and it's it builds enough mystery, I think, for each of the characters that I think I'm going to keep watching it. But
Yeah.
it has some very good animation that it's not going to be a disappointment to watch the episode.
All right.
But yeah, then there's you get a little bit of downtime, find out a little bit more about the brother and the sister, and a little bit more about the lore and the worlds that they're in and what they should be fighting
Yep.
through the series. But
Yep. I'll give that
I
one.
thought it
I'll give that
was
one a look. Yep.
yeah, I thought it was done pretty good. Still very early on in the episode. No, wait, can't. That won't switch. Dang it. There we go. I think it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, the animation's not too bad. It's not like super crazy or anything, but I think it's a very serviceable show. Definitely better than some shows this
Sure.
season. Oh, that's gonna be me for the next 3 months, is ragging on freaking uh magical girls make me gush, or gushing over
Oh.
magical girls.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good show. And the fact that they're making recommendations to Inuyasha, Dororo, uh,
Oh yeah, the Kenshin I can never get into the anime, not because I didn't like it. It's just I was so busy with other stuff at that time. I was in high school, but I think I was busy liking
yeah,
other stuff already. Not that I didn't like anime, but I just felt I liked the anime I liked, and that's
oh
how I
yeah,
usually am anyway. But
yeah.
go ahead.
I, oh no, I was just gonna say that I loved old Kenshin. I refused to check this out after finding out about the author or the mangaka and what he got busted for
Oh,
uh, back in 2013. So yeah,
I
but
hear it.
I won't check out the new one because of that because I can't.
No, I get you. I mean, when I respected the live adaptation to Kenshin. I don't know exactly when they brought it out, but I knew I watched it on the way to the Philippines in 2013. So I that's
Okay,
what I did. My brother said, "Don't sleep, watch, do
yours
something
deserves an
for."
anime.
Oh, Channel. What else is new?
Freaking woke breaker, you know Channing is my boy crush. And now he will leave because that's all Woke Breaker comes to do is to yell about me liking Channing Tatum. Now what's up, Woke?
No, this looks like a I and that's one thing I'll probably have to repent of is that I'm very if the artwork doesn't draw me, it's like I'm not gonna bother. But this one looks intriguing just because
Oh
it's
yeah.
along those lines. Now I don't know if it's 80s or 90s anime, but it just looks along those lines, and it might make me go, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, this one's solo leveling. I have I think it's up to 6 or 7 volumes. Might
Okay,
be 8 actually at this point. Uh, I have 5 of them. I could not put this down for anything
okay,
because it was just like bam, bam, action, a little bit of exposition, more action. Like it would not quit throwing the action at you, and the the art that
uh-huh.
was in the because I mean this isn't manga, this is manhwa,
Oh yeah,
Korean.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And what it what it had, I actually feel this is one point that the manhwa kind of did better because this guy right here on paper looks way more terrifying than he does in this.
Okay,
It opens up with it in the first episode. There's an island that they talk about. There was an incident
hmm,
where they call them gates in this one, where the dungeon monsters got out,
yeah,
and the reason that they have the hunters or the people that go into the dungeons is to keep that from happening, but they failed to do it because it opened up in such a remote area. Nobody knew about it,
hmm,
so they got out. That actually doesn't take place till much later
oh,
in the manhwa, but they
interesting.
chose to go ahead and introduce it like up front and center, and also introduce some characters that also don't get introduced till a little bit later, like the volume, first and second volume, I
Hmm,
believe, is all about the main character, and you don't really see much of what else is going on. So I'm I'm interested to see how they're gonna like rearrange everything.
yeah, yeah. Understand that, but it's like when I grew
Yeah.
up. I didn't know of manga. My first contact was watching it on TV. So just can't get into them, not because I don't like it. It's just it, it's like I've already gotten one piece of the pie, and it's almost like, well, I got to finish the anime side of it before I go into the manga, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. There, see the way I think about things is that they're separated, and that you have your, I guess if we can go kind of universal separation, because that's the best way to
yeah,
understand it. There's the manga universe, there's the anime universe, then
right,
there's the live action universe. Everything's different.
right,
What makes a good manga adaptation to an anime is that the manga needs to stay faithful to or the anime needs to stay faithful to the manga, meaning that you need to have the same feel, kind of the same
right.
ideas that are going in it. Don't go changing something that there's really no point to change it. My anime Yu Yu Hakusho, the anime ending is actually different from the manga ending,
Okay.
because the manga ending was so poorly received
Really?
that they tried to make or they tried to fix the anime, or fix
Okay.
the ending in the anime.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's same for live action adaptations.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I think the One Piece live action
Mhm.
was kind of so successful, because there was just enough there that it still felt
Mhm.
like One Piece, even though that it was really kind of a garbage adaptation, in my opinion.
Oh,
Because there were some significant changes that I felt that were made in that that you don't get the real kind of nuance of everything. Like there's a
interesting.
scene where uh, it's actually in the Arlong Park arc of One Piece, where and it was done very poorly in the live action, where Nami, or Luffy and Nami, go into Arlong Park, and Arlong shows Luffy the desk of Nami and everything. And in the live action, it's kind of just a footnote, and it's not like it really matters.
Oh, I see.
And the thing about it is that it's over so quickly.
Mhm.
But in the anime did it much better, because the thing is that Nami never goes in that building with Arlong and Luffy. Luffy and Arlong's fight just ends up there, and Arlong tells Luffy about the desk, and Luffy like just chucks that desk out the
Mhm.
window during the
Mhm.
fight. And the only people that know the meaning of that desk at that time was Nami, Luffy, and Arlong,
Mhm.
and us. But that's
Mhm.
because we're watching it.
I see.
But the emotion that Nami had in the anime was just so much more impactful
Right.
than what they did in the live action,
I see.
that it felt cheapened in the
Hmm.
live action,
Hmm.
or in the anime. I mixed up stuff. So anyways,
No,
anime version was better,
yeah.
live
Yeah.
action version was less.
I know. I get you. I get you. See,
Yeah,
that's the beauty of uh, having a what you might call a space where,
same man.
yeah, I hear you. But the availability of diverse opinions,
Yeah,
that because it would seem that a lot of the people of notoriety on, especially on YouTube, it was almost a glowing consensus that the One Piece live action was like where it had to be in terms of like this is how it should be done, like especially when it comes to comparing other stuff that's put out by other people. It's just what I've said about MI7. When I came out of the theater, yeah, I was impressed. Yeah, it was impressive. But when you start watching the other films, you're like, well, it's not as good as it to me anyway. It wasn't as good as number one, not even
Yeah.
as good as number three. But I can say for most people, like most people, number two is the black sheep of the franchise. But one and three seem to be similar, but then again, who knows? It's J.J. Abrams. He is the master recycler of
Yeah.
other movies, and so there is a reason why number three was as good as number one. I don't know if it's better than number one, but number one still is the for me is the standard. If I put it that far, anything that come if anything after it does not come close to what MI1 was, because all the rest to me outside of one and three, there weren't that many guessing games being played. Like
Right.
you didn't know what kind of player character A, B, C, and D were going to be at the end of the film. Whereas
Right.
with the others, and I've watched four, I'll watch five and six at some point, but seven, it's like there's no real guesswork, and at least based on what I saw, there doesn't seem to be the guesswork that MI1 presented and MI3 to a degree presented. Like there's no cat and mouse, so that's why as as I watched MI7 and my reaction at the time, it must have been because all the other stuff that they pushed out these days are utter garbage. And I just rewatched Gran Turismo with my dad and my mom because I don't think they've even watched it. But apparently it's on Netflix, and so I watched it again with them,
What
and
is it?
it was a good film. And I would say that it's one of the better films of that year, and I would put that above John Wick and MI7.
Yeah, I
See,
need to watch that
was it which
Gran
one?
Turismo.
Oh, you haven't yet?
No, never made it to theaters when it was
Oh,
out, and yeah, it just I'm. It's not one that I'm like I was dying to watch, but I was curious about it.
yeah, the word
Uh,
of mouth helped at the time, so it was like I didn't know what to think of it either, and I just decided to purchase one of the Regal Unlimited passes so I can pay that whatever a month and then make up for the cost by watching at least two or three movies.
yeah,
and um, so if I were to rank them, it was, or at least put in my top three, it was Gran Turismo, Godzilla minus one, and Mario Brothers.
oh,
Those are
nice.
my top. Those are my top films of that year that I watched. Yeah,
Yeah, I need to see Godzilla minus one too. That's another one that I'm just like, man. But every I never had an opportunity to go watch that either. That was so in such a low viewing
yeah, yeah,
uh, around here
yeah,
that anytime that I could have had a chance to go do it,
yeah.
like Godzilla is one of those movies that I'm it's for my enjoyment.
Sure,
Uh, for the it's for my enjoyment
yeah,
because I don't make content on that, so I
sure,
don't force myself out. But
sure,
I'm always trying to grow the channel in some
sure.
form or another. So it's like, do I go enjoy a what was it, a 2 hour movie?
Yeah, it was, yeah,
Uh,
a little bit under 2 hours if I remember right. It might
or
have been.
do I go at home and you know not spend the 20 $30 to watch a movie
Yeah,
and go make content,
No, I get you.
and hopefully, get that one video that will push the next video and then push the next video.
I get you. I get you. I'm just thinking on that because in terms of a lot of the popular opinion, and these are a lot of it is word of mouth from people you or I have grown to trust, and
Yeah.
it sounds like you're in the minority when it came to One Piece, the
Oh,
live action, and
definitely.
yeah, and I was
I
just like,
I, I
oh, that's
will
interesting.
I will say that I'm more than likely in the minority for a majority of my opinion on things.
Oh,
Uh, I just I don't. I'm always questioning something.
sure,
It's like you said the Mario movie was one of your top three. I think it was. I think the Mario movie was a fine movie. I actually just watched it for the second time the other day. I like it's
yeah.
still an enjoyable watch, but I'm like, is it really a good movie, or is it just kind of oh, they had this nostalgia thing, they had this nostalgia thing, and is that what really drove it? Like
No,
because
I am
the
with you on that.
story is just not. It's not very good.
No, I get you. I get you.
But I also get like it's Mario. Like what is Mario really good at? Platforming. You gotta have the platforming in there for it to kind of feel like Mario. Like Mario doesn't need to have a super deep story. But then I think of Sonic and Sonic 2.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Both those movies were extremely good, and it wasn't just because Sonic was in there and the nostalgia was there. It was just a good movie
yeah, yeah,
to watch, period.
yeah. No, I get you,
So,
and that's another franchise I'm gonna look to come around on because I think when they started putting out the cartoons, I think I checked out of Sonic, or I didn't check into Sonic when we were growing up. Like it was like Sega was always late to the party in putting out stuff.
oh yeah.
Like we were inundated. It sounds like you're a kid of the '80s, or maybe a little bit before that, but
Late 80s
okay,
is when I was born. I definitely grew up more in the 90s, and I
sure,
was more of a Nintendo kid.
sure.
That was just the console that my mom had, and that's how I started playing
Oh
games was
no,
on
I was
Nintendo.
just saying because growing up, Sega was late to the party in terms of like getting the name out. So back in the
Oh yeah.
mid late '80s, they even had the Nintendo cereal, and
Oh yeah.
they would have, if I remember right, it was like you could buy a box that was split between Zelda and Mario or something like that. Like
Yeah.
that's how they got the name out, and that's how people were drawn to Mario because you can have Mario in your pantry. You look at the box art, and back in the day, I don't know if it ever included a toy you can snatch out of the cereal, but that was a major concept for a lot of parents to buy kids their cereals because
Oh
you would
yeah.
you would oh look it's in
The
the
toy
box
in the box.
exactly
And they'd always put it at the freaking bottom.
exactly. I remember early on, it's like we dug in, like where is it?
Oh, I remember my first toy in the box cereal. I like I knew it was like I didn't see it at the top, so my hand went straight in the box
Oh yeah.
and all the way down, and the next thing I got was a freaking smack like you just dirtied the cereal. You got to eat it first, then you
Yeah,
get the toy.
yeah, yeah. So
I'm like, but this
sometimes
cereal
you
sucks.
yeah, yeah. But it was like you would get you'd either get it because that was your favorite flavor as a kid, or you just said, "Oh, it's got a prize in the box. Go get that one."
Like, so again, minority. I hate Fruity Pebbles. I
Okay.
hate it. It
Yeah.
is a terrible cereal to me.
Yeah.
But they always seem to have some of the better toys.
Hey. And then McDonald's the
Oh
way
yeah.
they would put product advert what do they call it in placement advertising where,
Yeah.
like I remember growing up around the whole when Batman 89 came out, when it came out, oh my god, all the stuff, and Batman Returns, all the stuff they peddled to cat food.
Yes.
Yeah. It,
Yes.
yeah, go
I,
ahead.
I had the. Oh man, that was when the McDonald's toys were good because I think they actually gave you a like a die cast Batman Returns Batmobile
Oh yeah.
in the Happy Meals,
Yep.
and I probably had like two or three of those. I really wish I had them now. Those would be great, kind of old school collectibles.
Yeah, but going back to the Sega thing, it's like they're late to the party, and by the time I was old enough and I checked out, it was too late because I think this was when he was still doing Family Matters, but the guy who played Urkel is the was the voice of Sonic in the cartoons.
Jaleel White.
Yeah, that guy, and
Yeah.
it didn't appeal to me like it appealed like back in the day with the Mario cartoon. If you remember that Mario cartoon and
Yes.
the
Yes.
Zelda cartoon. It,
I tell you the Sonic cartoon that got me was the Sonic Underground
okay,
cartoon. Yeah,
okay,
that was kind of that it had this kind of edgy feel of cartoons that I was kind of more into at the time because
oh, gotcha.
I was watching that. I was watching Street Sharks. I was watching oh god, there was a few others that just kind of, they always the cartoons that always had that heavy metal kind of rock
Yeah.
opening. Yeah, Biker Mice from Mars. Just so many good shows.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
SWAT Cats. Oh god, SWAT Cats. Ugh. Anyways. Oh man, but yeah. I mean, you're right. Sega was definitely late to the party as far as it come to like creating a mascot. I mean, what was it? Sonic was a kind of a direct result because of Mario.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, we need a mascot. We need something than just this old plumber guy. What's cool? Fast. What make a fast hedgehog? Make the game action.
Well, I think it was fine for however long it lasted in terms of that exclusivity of Sonic being a Sega only thing. Uh,
Yeah,
he was fine. It's just that where he was not placed, Mario already filled certain homes because
yeah,
they knew get this out there, and you know and that's why I think as I'm older now I can look at Sonic a little differently and put it on its own 2 feet and outside of whatever bias I had as a kid because I was a Nintendo kid, but I had a secret love for Genesis, if you will, because I have friends who had Genesis.
yeah. I had friends that had like Sega and stuff, but
Yeah,
they
yeah,
I because of where I live, like kind of far out in the sticks. It just it the things that a lot of people got to do, like going to friends' houses and playing their
yeah.
consoles and stuff. It just I didn't do a whole lot,
Okay,
and most of the friends that when I would go to their houses, it would be they'd have Nintendo, so
yeah,
I'd always
sure,
when I seen a Sega, I really thought it was like the more uh, worse of the consoles
sure,
because the controller just didn't feel right. The games were weird.
yeah,
Like just I don't know. Like even today, I have a hard time seeing where like the Sega Master System, the
oh yeah,
Sega 16-bit, really come into play because I'm just like they don't really have. I look at them and I'm like they don't have games. They don't have
yeah, yeah,
interesting games,
yeah,
and it just even though that I know there are still like Sega exclusives that are extremely good that
yeah.
are on those consoles. It just I, I think Nintendo, like if you're going for any kind of collection and you're going to play or you
Yeah.
want to play something, you're choose Nintendo because I
Yeah.
think it just has a bigger library of whoa. I've got something playing that shouldn't be.
Oh, if
Ah,
you
there
are,
we
I'm not hearing it.
go. It's I got another window pulled up.
Yeah.
Leave your Genesis out of this.
There
Oh man. What
he
is it?
is.
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah. I remember. Yep. That's when that was when the commercials were more in your face, and I
Oh,
miss
I
those days.
loved
To be
it.
honest, I miss those days. Cream
Yeah,
spin the color.
I miss a good console war. To be honest with you, they're silly as hell, but I love it when a company will attack another company and they
Yeah.
just kind of go back and forth.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it is fun to watch. Like that is some good TV. It's like we got to one up you and we got to one up you, and we win for entertainment. You know, which I find it funny because everyone yells at Nintendo today for being this like kind of out of the box console maker, and they're yelling. They're like, "We want a more powerful console. Why don't you give us a more powerful console?" Well,
Uh,
because you are buying the current console, and there's no reason for us to make a powerful console if you're going to buy the one we're making and it has the games, so they have no incentive to really try to outdo Microsoft or Xbox.
Plus, that's not the experience they're trying to. And at least knowing my brother and those who know him and his in-laws, they they enjoy their Switch, and
Yeah,
it's not it's not because the Switch has the better graphics. Never really sold itself as that. It's
no,
it's a way to experience gameplay, and people, if they remember the GamePro magazine, they had 5 sets of gaming grades. One is fun factor, the other is controls, other things, and they would look at it from a total perspective, from the sound to the graphics to the control to the game, the fun factor, the gameplay, that you talked about.
yeah,
Because why would I spend the amount of money I would spend on a PS5 when, if I was going to put that much for anything gaming wise, I might as well get a good graphics card.
oh yeah,
Nothing's
100%.
stopping me from getting a good graphics card, and I will bite my tongue because I got to install Windows to enjoy it. Um, but
Yeah, I've
still,
got to
it's
upgrade mine this year. They're coming
but
out with that
it's
new.
something where, especially with the shenanigans, like I read about Sony pulling some things off their
Oh
digital
yeah,
library. It's like, um, I'll pass. uh, Microsoft, I'll take a nice pass because, like I said, I can what I can buy for an Xbox, I can buy for my PC. If I
uh,
really forced myself to do that, I could. You know,
yeah, and you'll have a big like if you have Steam and have had Steam for the last 2 decades, you have a library. You have the biggest library of gaming
yeah,
than any of the newer consoles can give you, and you don't have to wait for it.
no,
And if the developer ever changes anything in the game, guess what? You can mod it and change it back or
yeah,
make it whatever you kind of want.
right,
It's
right.
awesome.
Yeah. But the thing about the Switch is, I realized that as I started playing Switch, and at one of the retro gaming expos, I did buy a Sega Genesis because, why not? Especially with the. It's funny how I used to be such a techie that the less I want of the newer stuff, because of how integrated the internet has become in a lot of the console games.
Right.
As much as I used to rag on console players because like we got our LAN party or whatever, and we've been doing the online gaming thing for ever, right? And now that
94 with the original, was it Doom or Doom 2 that they
probably
did
one or the other, yeah, yeah,
the networking? I can't
yeah,
remember which one had it.
yeah. But you know what I mean. It's just like as consoles got into that sphere of online gameplay, and seeing what the landscape was even just 10 years ago, it was
Oh
just
yeah.
no, no, thank you. I'm gonna I'm gonna go offline and I'm gonna play the game by myself.
Yeah. Yeah, every game seems to want to have some kind of online multiplayer integration, and it's just like that's not what I really
Yeah,
game for. I mean, it's fun on certain games, but I'd much rather just have a single player experience a majority of the time.
yep, yep. That's how I am nowadays. It's just I don't want to deal with online multiplayer because I've been there, done that, as the saying goes. You know, been there, done that.
Yeah.
I don't need to repeat that. I just want to enjoy my game. I want to have fun. You know, like even to this day when I play old school Tetris, it's like it doesn't. You don't need all that graphical power to play Tetris. It's just
Oh
moving
no.
blocks, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, man, I it is past the 2 hour mark, so
Oh,
I
okay,
think I'm
yeah.
gonna wrap it up here. You got anything you want to promote, throw out there, or
Well,
someone?
well, as far as my channel goes, like I said, I was on that layoff from YouTube during my family vacation, so I'm slowly getting back. I just pushed 2 videos about my unboxings, and then I'm probably gonna talk about stuff I got for Christmas that I didn't expect to get. I might have talked about that already, but I had more on my plate as far as that went. So, you know, like I what I didn't expect to get, I was most joyous over. Like when I saw what I was given for my gifting for my gadget box, I'm like, okay, I'll see what the second box gives me because that's what my sister gave me for Christmas. So
Nice.
anyway, that's what I've got, and I look forward if I can get up early. I'll look forward to checking out the Brandon stream tomorrow morning. I don't know if you'll have time to do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 10 o'clock a.m. at least Eastern time. I forget what he said Mountain time. I think it was like 8 or 9.
8 o'clock for me. It'd be 7 o'clock, so I'll
Yeah.
be up and early.
Yeah, it'll be 10 for me. I might be up that early. But man, I do appreciate you coming on. It's been nice chat. I can't speak. Chatting with you.
No, likewise.
And guys, if y'all haven't already, if you have enjoyed the content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I think I might do a little gaming this weekend, but I said that last weekend and I never did it. We'll just have to see what happens. But I'll see y'all next time, guys.